at it again, once again. What it is, it's the biggest, the dopest, the freshest, the sickest, the illest entertainment show on your TV screens. It's TVD, baby. It's the Beatdown. It's your boy, Mangaliso Maslila, aka Elfo, aka Elfizzle. Welcome to it. It's the top 10 hottest music videos from all over the world. Wherever the turn up is, we box it up, fly it down to Eswatini, then we unbox it at 8 p.m. right here on Swazi TV every Saturday. And today, we're doing things a bit different, man. You know, as you can see, I'm not where I usually am. Shout out to Solanis. I'm out here at what will be the last major event to happen in this space. This is the Swazi Jive HQ, the Swazi Jive headquarters. And big news came out about a week ago that Swazi Jive is making a whole lot of changes to what's happening, especially with Hipnotik and the studio and the old HQ. So I had to make it special. I had to come through and get the full scoop, man. The tweets weren't enough. The Facebook post wasn't enough. I was like, nah, I want you to sit down with me and tell me exactly what happened. So today, ladies and gentlemen, we'll be unpacking everything with the one and only Sakile and, of course, Lo. What's happening, fellas?
We're out here. So
what's going on?
Thank you for having us.
Swazi Jive fam.
You know what I'm saying?
How
It's always a pleasure. We're good, man. Very weird time, but we're great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna get right into it. I just wanna, before we get into it, before we unpack everything, I just wanna know what headspace you guys are at right now with all these changes that are happening.
Oh wow, the future is bright. You know, there's people that work as hard as us always have a chance to win. So it's a lot of people may look at it negative, but it's positive. You know, it's growth. It's growth. That's the headspace we're in. Growth. That's it.
For those who haven't seen the Facebook and the Twitter, Sakile, what are these changes that I'm talking about? What's going on?
It's just growth, man. We're forcing ourselves out the box. We created ourselves. I think we've done as much as we can in the environment, considering the resources we have. So we literally expanding, and expansion actually means taking away some properties from Eswatini, which is very hurtful. There's a lot of reasons behind it. There's a lot of factors. It's very political, but we're not interested in that. I think our fans will follow us wherever we go. Our fans are ready to support us whatever we do. So that's our only focus right now. Yeah.
So in short, because I know you're very philosophical about it, you guys are leaving the HQ, and there's also another big change I want to talk about in terms of leaving, especially within the country. But I want to kick off the show with the first video of the day. Then we'll be back to sit down with the big boys from Swazi Jive. We'll be right back.
You just got me sitting here drinking all night, thinking about you, and I hope you're alright. So I've been thinking about you.
I'm never slipping on my conscience. You bring the cookie back. I don't need it, I don't cough back. Girl, you wrote it good. Hope you got your license. Still underage, but already on a high pace. Living like a savage, you ain't even 21 yet. Sipping on the beverage, then I roll your crew another J. Get high, no Red Bull. Since it jump us and take it to the bedroom. Now it's going on again. All the hate was a pretense, just in front of your friends. We cannot be like that. Now you're smiling like damn. You are strengthening the way. How I'm feeling right back.
I don't need to fall over again for you. I don't need to fall over again for you. Cause you just got me sitting here drinking all night, thinking about you, and I hope you're alright. So I've been thinking about you.
Look, hey, a few days gon' pass. I'm dropping you a text, how you did me like that. I need a rematch, we can start up at the show. I got you a free pass. I don't really like this, and you can sit here on my lap. I got Scotty and some ice. Don't worry about the tax, Hamba Navi Pella. This is my
TBD, baby, we're still out here. You know what it is. It's the Beatdown with your boy Elfizzle. And of course, I'm not alone. I'm with Sakile SK and of course Lihle LO. Does everyone else actually call you Lihle LO?
No,
Just
you know,
Lo.
I'm low, but everyone in Swaziland calls me LO.
LO.
So I just accept it. You know,
Maybe if they knew the story behind the name.
there is no real story. It's just a nickname. You know?
You're LO then. Just accept that you're LO.
Yeah, you know, so it's whatever the fans want to call me, it's alright.
Yeah.
It's fine with me.
Fellas, you guys have a story to tell. Coming through from t-shirt selling
Yes.
at Waterford,
Yeah.
small events at theatre club and at school.
Yeah.
I just want to know your description of this journey that's come now to what some may seem, as you said, some may look at the end. How can
Yeah.
you describe this long journey that you guys have gone through?
Very interesting. I think we've been very blessed to go from nothing, literally just having ideas, to making such an impact, not only in our lives but other people's lives. You know, when I started the brand in high school, I definitely had all these dreams, but I didn't think it would grow at such a quick rate. You know, from selling t-shirts at the tuck shop, selling noodles, you know, from that hustle to doing shows at theatre club where 50, 100 people come, 200, 700, to eventually owning event properties and venues as big as Sky Lounge and Hipnotik within 8 years. It's definitely a blessing, and you know, if you don't believe in God's power, just look at our lives. You know what I'm saying? Not only are we big in Swaziland, but I just came from a trip. I was in America for 3 weeks, working with other promoters, working on other festivals as Swazi Jive. In South Africa, we're doing the same thing. So, you know, it just comes to, you know, it proves the fact that your dreams are valid, regardless of how small you think it is when you get started, or, you know, you can't discourage yourself or talk yourself out of it at the beginning, you know. Humble beginnings. I think it's in the Bible as well that humble beginnings are very important, and that's definitely our story. You know, now we're at the top. And niggas can't stand it.
Everybody mad.
Everybody mad, but it's cool.
Lo, Sakila's obviously been in the limelight and out there, being the founder and CEO of Swazi Jive. You recently, in the last couple of years, have come out as well, you know, more publicly. But it's not because you just got introduced to the scene. You've been part of the team, and also behind the scenes, in terms of what Swazi Jive artists have been doing. You maybe want to tell us what Lo has been doing before coming out and being announced as Swazi Jive music president.
Oh, well, I
And the
started
artist, of
working
course.
with Sakile a long time. I even remember first time using the studio at school. He was head of the studio. What was it?
Yeah, I was a bully. I used to pick who used to use the studio.
Yeah, and I was just
in high
always
school.
shining, so I was just always good. So I just always got
You in
access.
Form 2?
Yeah, I think Form 2, Form 3.
I was in Form 4, yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. From that moment on, we just kept working. And we even saw a recent Facebook post in 2012, and I just posted Swazi Jive.
Yeah.
Even back then, you know, it was gang, it was team. The team always comes first, you know. So my journey with Swazi Jive comes from just the love of music. That's how we met, you know. That's how it grew. And now, you know, we're doing more stuff to do with the music, but also in the industry, you know, as entrepreneurs as well. We've been in this struggling together, winning as well, for how many years now?
You know, our whole lives we've been winning.
5. True.
It's been long. It's been long.
Yeah. But yeah, the artist is where I usually come in. I've been in the background, producing, mixing for all the Swazi Jive artists before I even came to the forefront to let you guys know that, okay, now I'm, you know, showing myself. But that just came from growth and change in our lives, saying now we're just reaching a new level. So we have to do new things as well.
Yeah.
All right. So they've got all the positives, but we also want to look at the negatives, man. We ain't trying to out here butt kissing. So we're going to talk about all of that after this song right here. D, baby. We're still out here. You know what it is. Remember, hit us up on Facebook and on Twitter. On Twitter, it's at the Beatdown TV, and then on Facebook, it is the Beatdown. But if you're not trying to search and scroll, just go onto your browser and type www.facebook.com/the Beatdown TV. That takes you straight to the page. Still out here for those who joined us. Where you been? Huh? Still out here with Sakide and Lo. We're talking about the changes that Swazi Jive is going through right now. Arguably one of the biggest entities in the entertainment industry for the past, I don't know how many years. Two young men here who have been at the forefront of something that's been great. But besides the Hipnotik Festival, I was talking to Lo before the break about the stuff he's been doing behind the scenes, which is a lot of the production that Swazi Jive has as artists. Now, a lot of people talk, a lot of people have different opinions, so I always want to hear things from the horse's mouth. You've had artists, and some of them have left from the very first one you dropped, which was the pair of YNV, you know, to Bomnandi and things like that.
Yeah.
What's happened with the artists that have come and go?
Oh well, it's a lot of it is just different journeys, different paths, you know, different perspectives. It's nothing negative. It's just other people want to go different ways and grow their own brand in certain ways that we aren't looking to do.
Okay.
So it's not anything negative. It's just growth, and we're not going to close you off to your own personal growth.
Yeah.
So we're going to let you explore yourself and grow. We're not here to stifle you and stop you. We're here to help you. So with all that, you know, it's always positive. You see, we still know each other, we still talk. So it's not anything negative. Really.
Yeah, just to add on that, mind you, the way Lo's putting it right now is obviously because we've grown as well. So in retrospect, that's how we see it. In the moment, there's definitely some animosity that was felt both ways, because you young people, you dream together, you have plans, and then all of a sudden your plans don't work, you know. So the initial, I think, reaction is, but so-and-so doesn't have my back, or so-and-so doesn't have my back. So I think that's where the stories get interesting for the general public, that maybe there was a fight or anything like that. But in life in general, even with friends from high school, regardless of people you work with, you get to that point where for your growth, you have to leave certain people behind, or they have to leave you behind, you know. And it's unfortunate that some of these guys that I've worked with were some of the most talented guys this country's produced, you know, and we had a certain vision for them, and that their own vision. And I still, to this day, believe, I wish we stuck together. Even when I see them now, I'd be like, dog, if we just stuck together, you know. But I'm sure they're doing well in their own right, according to their standards. So I think it's all love from my
I'm glad
side.
you bring that up, because I want to know, you're still young.
Yeah.
You've been doing this. You're young people. You're learning as you go. Now, looking back at the artists you've had, the decisions you've made in terms of Swazi Jive music, what are some of the things you would say maybe probably we shouldn't have done that with our artists, or we should have done this? When you look back now and you go, you know, for instance, because you have like some notable things.
Yeah.
Cool Bass came out, rocked the nation.
Yeah.
9 was a really dope
Thank you.
mixtape.
Yeah.
Tenderness also had a collaboration with a South African artist at a time where
Overload, 2013,
Overload,
yeah.
which also a dope song. Now, when you look back at all these things that you did, do you have some regrets, or I probably should have done that?
I'll let Lo answer that, but my only regret, and something we're only learning maybe the last few years, is putting people in the spotlight too quickly. I think we rushed the process in terms of getting people known, getting the music out there, and not actually developing them on a personal level. This life comes with a lot of public pressure. There's pressure from home, there's pressure from your friends, there's pressure at school, you know, especially because we're all young. And now you have to be producing at a level where you're competing with guys that don't have pressure from home, they don't have school. You know, the moment you release a song and you're 18, 19 right now, you're competing with Aries and Nasty C by default, whether you like it or not. You know, and we would rush and put people out there, and then they wouldn't maybe put in the effort that we thought was required, or put in the time that they knew they needed to put in, you know. Definitely a big regret, and also just gauging how much people want it. it takes time to realize if someone's really committed. We sometimes we put people in the spotlight, got the features, did the big records, and then you realize that maybe they're not in it as much as we are, you know. People change, you know, and at the time we're working without contracts, so no one had any obligations to do anything, you know. One day you release a big song and then the next day is, I have to go to, I want to go to Smunya Fair, yeah, I'm tired, you know. All those things, and if any young person's watching, they want to start a record label, that's the reason big labels have contracts. That's why there's obligations. You have to release 4 singles with us, 5 albums. It's because people change, and you want to guard the business, secure the business from those changes in tastes, interests, habituals, whatever. You want to make sure that if you're developing an artist, they'll carry it right through, you know. So yeah.
Well, I think he answered most of it, but you know, adding on to what he's saying, the regrets, it's not necessarily that we regret anything, but those are lessons learned now.
Yeah.
You know, I think it's important that whatever business it is or whatever you're doing in your life, you learn from the mistakes or whatever happens, so that in the future you'll be more prepared, you know, to do whatever you want to do. So for me, I don't really like dwelling on whatever we regret. I want to learn from it and not make those mistakes again, you know, and be stronger for that. So it's not, I don't regret much.
Yeah, fellas, I really wanna, because we're talking to the young person here, I wanna talk more about the stuff that you've done as young people and stuff that you continue to do. But after this jam right here, we'll be right back.
You know what them do? Harvey tell us, smart. William Banks. Same man. Me search the trend, me different. Me going in for the my difference. Me a freelancer, me know the chance. And if you play this song, me are the dancer. Me like the upside, me no balance. The ATM, me put me the number. Always on top, I was never under. Lost my time, me all of them wonder. See, already all of them surrender. Cause them got different agenda. Me now feel them from Cape to Vendors. I'm on #1 fireman, we stand that. Smoke good kush, fly away to London. Or to Kingston, or Maputo, me are the ruler. Very straight and petty straight, some say I'm a ruler. Fusabale, hey, now is the time to harvest. Cause I've been through all the tests. Now I'm a proof I'm the best. Like King Kong banging the chest. Fusabale, hey, now is the time to harvest. Cause I've been through all the tests. Now I'm a proof I'm the best.
TBT, baby. This year we saw the 7th edition. It's the 7th, right? Mm-hmm. It's the 7th edition of one of the biggest youth festivals in the country and longest running, as far as I know. I stand to be corrected. The Hipnotik Festival. We saw it start out, you know, as a small festival. Was it small though?
1,000 is pretty small compared to it now, you know?
Yeah, but at the time, you know.
That was lit.
At the time, it was like, wow, it was a big start.
Yeah, it was.
But how old were you guys at the time?
What is that? I forgot. Yeah, 17, 18?
18.
I was 16 then.
Yeah, I was really young.
Wait, so at 18,
17,
you guys
18.
had AKA, you had KO, you had Big Nas, you had all these people, and you're signing contracts with people.
Big boys.
Why would that thought, how does that thought even come to you?
When God places a vision, man, in your heart, we all have those moments where you have a moment of intuition and, you know, you get a hunch to do something. I think I just believed in that I could do this, and I just started doing the research on how to get a hold of these people or put myself in the right space, you know. So at the time it didn't seem like a challenge, it just seemed like what I should be doing. So while my friends were going home for holiday, I was literally asking my parents if I could go to Joburg, you know, which seemed weird to them, like, we are pictures, you know, and I was like, I have this idea, and then the right people start falling into your life, just like how it always happens when you trust yourself, you know, and people started coming in to say, oh, I know so-and-so, I know this manager, or I can take you to this place. That's how we reached all these stars at the time. You know, Keenan, AKA, who had just dropped his mixtape, you know, didn't have many hit singles, and then I booked him, and we met and we spoke about his dream of being a big rapper. And that year he won his first South African Music Award, you know, and Alter Ego was just a big deal. So by the time Hipnotik happened, he was a star, You know what I'm saying? And I remember we sat at Ezulini Spur talking about our vision for his career, vision for the festival. And we had a great moment this year after everything that's happened. We were sitting at the Royal Villas looking back like, man, we did it, you know? Those moments are priceless considering we trusted something that was not tangible. You know, it was deep in our hearts and in our souls. And then now everyone's seeing it. It's a pretty amazing experience, yeah.
It's good when you can have stories like that, that you can, you know, when you tell a story of how you got somewhere and you have different opinions. Like I said, everyone has a different opinion.
Yeah.
And I love hearing the truth.
Yeah.
So when you have stories like that, moments like that, it makes the story more believable, you know, because obviously for you, being in the public eye as the Swazi Jive face, you know, you've dealt with quite a lot of negative, not publicity per se, but tweets, Facebook, people talking, you know.
Yeah.
Others even doubting that you did any of this. You know, I think a term that I could use it's just a rich boy using his parents.
That would be nice. That would be nice. Yeah.
Actually, that would be great.
I'd enjoy that actually.
Because that's the general. That's the general.
I take it as a compliment. The moment people see a young black person and don't believe they can do such great work, it shows their limitations. It exposes their beliefs on what a young black person can achieve, not mine. It doesn't reflect anything about me at all. Yeah. So I just listen. I'm like, cool, bro. You believe you can't do it? I was 21 and I, you know, blowing $500,000, and I'm okay with that. And I started meeting people that are in that space, and I wanted more. And if you don't think that's possible for you, that's cool. It doesn't affect what I'm doing or the growth of my business or my success, you know? So, yeah, I think that's what helps me deal with the negativity. But we do have moments. I don't know what low things, but I've had my cases of anxiety. You can go through depression. And unfortunately, those are things that the media won't report. Nobody cares what you're going through mentally, emotionally, what your family is going through. They just want the juice, the spice, you know, the lineup, you know, how much is a ticket? How I feel when I wake up in the morning and there's 2 pages of lies or just a mistake we made, or, you know, you learn how cold the world is.
Out of interest, what's the biggest lie that's been told about you?
The biggest, that I'm arrogant. I don't know, man. I've heard so much stuff. I've heard so much stuff, all the way to drug dealing. At some point, people didn't understand how we're financing. Yeah, people would come here and be like, "Are you guys dealing drugs?" Yeah. It's like, no, we're dealing music.
Someone pushed me for a job.
Yeah.
Because they thought I was a drug dealer.
Yeah.
It's like, there's no way you guys.
It's very interesting.
So it's
that's
crazy.
People's limitations of what a black young person can do scare me sometimes, you know. But luckily, we've managed to put ourselves in spaces where we've seen other young black people do even more things than us. Like what we're doing is nothing. So we're always around those people, learning from them. We're literally like begging them for knowledge, you know. So that's the only thing that's keeping us moving.
You're obviously doing this for yourself, but do you ever feel the pressure with all these things being said about you that you read about, you hear about?
Yeah.
Do you ever feel the pressure to try and prove yourself? Because like we're living in a time where if I say you can be the next Akide, someone will answer, I can't. I don't have rich parents.
Yeah.
Or I don't sell drugs like them. Do you feel the pressure to go, no guys, but this is how it's happening, or believe me? Do you feel that pressure at any point?
I wouldn't necessarily call it pressure, but I did go through a point in my life where I wanted to prove a point, which is very unhealthy. You don't get the best results out of yourself. You're basically killing yourself. And one of the reasons I started blogging more often, started my website, and one of the main reasons I'm writing a book is to tell their story. Unfortunately for some people, they're only catching up now, but there are those kids that grew up with us. When I did Headcount, way before Hipnotik, the kids were still 12, 13 years old. 9 years later, you know, these people are 21, 22, 23. So there's people who've grown with the brand and stayed loyal to us without really understanding the story behind it. Those are the people I'm interested in. there will be people who constantly doubt. Even if they will read my book, they will see this interview, they will meet me live and still go, no man allowed, you know? So you can't, that's why I don't get into arguments with people that are unwilling to change their mind. Understand? The reason we engage in conversation is to feed each other information so you are willing to change your stance on something. The moment I realize someone's not willing to change their mind, there's no reason for us to talk. You've made up your mind. Why are we arguing? You understand? And a lot of the fans are open-minded, are willing to understand the good and the bad. Then there's the people who just made up their minds about us. I have absolutely no interest in even attempting, because it's a lose-lose. It takes up my time, you know, and I'm feeding into their bad energy. It's not how we work around here.
Okay. We'll take a jam, and then afterwards, I want to talk about the ups and downs of Hipnotik. Where to from here? You know, Hipnotik might not be in the country next year. We'll talk about that and so much more after this.
The year is 09, I'm a little chap, I'm on my way to school, it's a normal day. Wasn't messing up it just kinda took a little while for me to stray from all my innocence. Hey, I had a crush on this girl, and she was fine, she had my smile on reflex. She knew I liked her cause I stared every day. I was alone, I couldn't share my feelings. Now the year is 16, I'm an older nigga on my way to studio, it's a working day. I'm only skating high, making music, bitches on my mind. I think I lost my innocence. Hey, but I got my plans right. I got my crutch and my set right. I got the meme in the all size. City fans that are all mine. I can trust her with my bank card. She gon' spend my money till the last time. This is the perfect time to call ya. Don't tell a lot of people since I was a kid. It's always been my phobia. I think I heard my phone buzz. Some girl from primary, it's funny how we never really used to talk. So don't tell a lot of people. Don't tell a lot of people.
It's the Beatdown, it's your boy Al Faisal out here with SK and Low. Swazi Jive, I know, I'm talking to the president right now. I know a lot of artists look at I think it's called a catalog, right? The catalog, see what you've done, listen to your stuff. Are you guys looking to sign any new artists real quick?
I mean, if your talent is just undeniable, yeah. You know, it's you can see with the artists we have now, we've more focused on talent rather than hype or anything like that. So for us, I don't care how many followers you have or you know how hype you are. I start with the music because that's the first touch point that I care about. That's how I connect with you. That's the first way I'll get to grow with you. But if it's just about the hype and all that, it's not necessarily what we do since we develop artists. Yeah, we're not taking the big label approach where we just take already established artists and just push them and manage them. No, we want to take talent and nurture it and create superstars. So that we can, as Swaziland also says, Eswatini, we have these superstars that we have created, you know, and we brought them up. Not someone else, not South Africa, no, we did it ourselves. So that's how we approach the artist curation process, you know. So if you got some talent that's beyond amazing, yeah, hit us up.
It's beyond amazing.
Yeah.
You want to underline that.
I have to underline that.
Well, speaking about artists, earlier I asked you about the artists that have come and go. Another thing that's also evident, especially in terms of the people who follow the journey, follow you guys, Swazi Jive, and what's been going on. There's also been a lot of changes around you, besides the musicians, whatever. But the team's been changing as well.
Yeah.
Is it the same answer for that in terms of people who've come and go?
To a large extent, yes. I think the principle is the same. People going through changes, but I would hate to blame everything on people changing. I think there's definitely been mismanagement on our side, just because we didn't know better at the time. So our staff turnover at some point was horrible. We were losing people quicker than we could replace them. And that's when I learned to start an organizational culture. That's why we're in such a beautiful space right now. I learned for people to give their best, what type of environment they need to be in, what type of salaries they need to be earning. Nobody taught us those things. I went to business school my whole life, but there's no book about human psychology, when it comes to business. You learn that on the job. One moment you have someone who's performing and you teach them everything, then they go get a job somewhere else, or they go start their own company that will compete with yours. That's the reality, It used to make me so angry, like, I taught you so much, I took you here and I gave you this. Then you realize not everyone's as invested in your vision. People have their own dreams, So I'm very blessed, I think, to have people around me that have the same goals and are willing to grow with this specific brand, so that's why the team, I'd say, has changed. Not a lot. The core team is the same, but there are those people that were out there known, in sales and marketing, that have gone on to venture into other things, and we wish them nothing but the best. Yeah.
Let's talk about Hipnotik again. Now, I want to be more specific. You spoke earlier about depression and things like that. I remember speaking to you last year, and you spoke about making the biggest loss that you've made. I think it was 2 years ago.
2016.
2016. People look at that, don't know that part of it. They don't know the hardships that you've gone through in terms of the money that actually happens. And everyone has that question: does Hipnotik make money?
Yeah. It's a good question. I think when we had the last interview, 2016 was a difficult year because it was the biggest show we did in terms of numbers, in terms of production. It was the first time we really took that step forward, like, okay, we want to be the best in the country. We don't want any doubt about that. So we saw the numbers grow, but the needs that the consumers had exceeded the revenue they were receiving. So it really hit us hard. We lost a lot of people in the team, because we couldn't afford to pay staff, we couldn't afford to pay suppliers, we were getting sued left, right, and center, So I personally, at some point, I was like, this just might be the end, We've showcased such a spectacular event, and we can't afford to close off these last, At some point, we were getting sued for a ridiculous amount, like 20,000. I know that sounds like a lot of money for people, but in context to how much the festival costs, like 4 million, it's not a lot of money. But now when you can't even find that money within that business, there's a problem. So I had to sit and make those decisions, like, will I continue? Will I try to get a new team together? I think those are the moments where you go through those mental roller coaster rides, You go through anxiety, you get depressed, you get out of it, you're excited, you get depressed again, and you're like, okay. I'm Hipnotik for 2016, 2017 didn't make any money. And I think that was the time when we started looking at, if you remember, when we launched Hipnotik 2016, we got the government involved. The Ministry of Arts and Culture, Youth Affairs was here. We had all these organizations that promised to support, to pay local artists, to pay our production. And the reason 2017 happened the way it happened is because we financed everything again ourselves. So government didn't pull through, unfortunately. None of the parastatals pulled through. Just a lot of excuses, and that's when I learned that maybe this environment is not where we're going to grow this brand to its full potential. Because now we can have a run, we can have a positive press run for 2 months straight, and it always ends with someone getting sued. I think that's not good for us, it's not good for the suppliers, it's not good for the fans, all the artists associated with the brand. I think this year has been our best year in the last 3 years in terms of the press. We're the ones suing people, at this point, and we don't want to be those people. We, like Lisha said, we are in this because we love music. We want to create platforms for people to grow in music. We want to grow artists. We want to let the country shine, I know what your next question will be. So that's that. Hipnotik definitely made the impact it needed to make in Swaziland. It can still do more. Don't get it twisted. but the environment isn't allowing us. Yeah.
When you say the environment isn't allowing you, what do you mean?
Politics. There are definitely powers that be that are not happy with the progress we made without them. I know it sounds like some Illuminati stuff. It exists because we've sat in meetings with these people, and without giving them control of what we're doing, they threatened to shut us down, which they did. Technically, in June, we did receive a letter prohibiting Swazi Jive from hosting any events. And we had to stand up and fight. In the middle of releasing the lineup, we were told, you have no venue, you're not allowed to do events in this country, leave. And we were like, oh, can we just have 1 year where we do this without being stressed? Secondly, corporate support. We were at Major League Gardens. They invited us to Major League Gardens this past weekend. We're sitting with the sponsors, Smirnoff and all these companies. And the support is immense, from the TV stations all the way to corporate support, because it is merely impossible to run at the scale we run at. We've got over 300 people hired, working over 2 days. You've got chartered flights. You've got over 300 hotel rooms. You know, there is no way you can run without financial muscle, you know, which we saw at Major League Gardens. Everything was smooth because everything was paid for on time, sponsors on board. In Swaziland, it's like the exact opposite. And I don't understand why our corporates are putting all their eggs in one basket when there's such a huge youth market that is begging for their attention, you know. And Hipnotik was that vehicle. And unfortunately, some took long, some made offers I couldn't accept out of respect for our fans, out of respect for ourselves. And everyone's putting their eggs in this one basket that really doesn't need any more support. And then you have this one thing that's highly influential, growing exponentially. Within 7 years, we've grown faster than any festival in this country. We have 14 media houses reporting. You know, we're making an impact in Europe, in America. We have people flying from Australia, but not even 10 Rand from any of the corporates. So I had to look at that and look at myself. I was like, maybe I'm the problem in terms of how I'm managing the business, in terms of how I sold the business. Maybe I scared people away. At the same time, the team was going to meetings with me. It was like, no, Sakile, there's nothing we've done wrong up to this point when it comes to this. They just don't want us here. And unfortunately, that's the reality we had to come to terms with recently and go, maybe let's let the people fight for us. Let's take the battle to them. Let's continue growing in music. Because what it was becoming now, we're going to start running for MP. We're going to start going to positions of power to try influence. I'm not interested. We want to make music, distribute music, market music, make money from music, do concerts, have a whole live experience for the rest of our lives. Who feels what about Ezulwini being a town for certain people? It got to that, it got into race issues. You know, we're bringing too many black people into Ezulwini. Can we change that? No, we can't change that. It's hip hop. It resonates with a certain market. Why don't you put this type of music so that more people from Ezulwini can feel comfortable with this festival? It's been running Ezulwini for 5 years. All of a sudden, people are uncomfortable. You know, who are these people? And these people came, and I was like, they're very brave. So I'm not trying to get shot right now. You know?
You scared me because I wanted to go deeper and say,
Let's get it.
shot?
No, definitely not. I pray, man.
You put up a letter from the user.
Yeah, like one, yeah.
Yeah.
With several.
Some of the complaints, what can you say about them? I remember when we had
tweets.
discussion about them. No, the complaints on the letter.
Oh, the reason they want to shut down Hipnotik, or the reason they try to shut down Hipnotik, noise pollution and traffic congestion.
I think there was something mentioned about grass being destroyed. And
that wasn't the conversation. Yeah,
was that a conversation?
There wasn't a conversation in the meeting. Some lady stood up and said she's scared of burning because our clients smoke and they're going to burn the grass and burn the whole city down. I was like, if it's really come down to this, I cannot be in this meeting where we'll use every single excuse to try stop this from happening. It was bad enough with traffic congestion and noise pollution. It's a festival.
And mind you, they are planning a festival themselves.
Yeah, so I think they announced it actually. Yeah. I was away, but I saw it in the newspaper. Someone sent me that the very same people that are saying Hipnotik is not appropriate for that area announced that they will have their own festival to
the
replace
area.
Hipnotik in the same area. So it was like, good luck, bro.
Okay. We want to talk about why you haven't made such things public, but after this jam. Right, yeah, because the story, you have the full story and you've only been given snippets about it.
Yep.
We'll be right back.
We claim ground. Why would you be second guessing what you could be? 'Cause no one's had it down like you. You see, nobody shine brighter than you. Your grind speaks levels above the levels you reach. Your time is precious, and yours to keep. Your mind is focused, levels reaching the breeze. We running, chasing money bags. Climbing, money stacks. Making moves, chasing 100 packs. We running, chasing money bags. Climbing, money stacks. I'm down for you, and I'll grind with you, and I keep grinding.
Yeah, man, we're still out here and we're still talking the journey that has sort of come to an end or a T-junction. I'm not sure. We'll find out.
Short left.
But anyway, they're leaving this place, Swazi Jive. Guys, just before the break or the jam there, we were talking about the forces that be that tried to stop Hipnotik 2018. And I
We're
can see
trying
you
to
guys
flex.
are trying to be diplomatic about it, you know.
Yeah.
There was letters, there was meetings,
Yeah.
there was complaints. You
Yeah.
guys are gonna burn down the country. You guys are gonna you're gonna kill people.
Yeah, of
Apparently.
course.
Too many deaths at Hipnotik is one of
Of
the things
course.
you said.
Right.
Oh, so I've heard, yeah.
Even
I've never heard of any deaths.
I've never, there's never been one incident within festival parameters that we've had. So it was shocking to hear all these things from people that don't even know what the festival is or what it stands for. They've never been there, but they're sitting there making decisions. It was like, I literally asked, have you been to Hipnotik? No, but I think it's important that, let's watch a YouTube video together as a group.
No robbers.
I want us to look at it this way.
Yeah.
Okay. First of all, yes or no? Do you think you're arrogant? Sakile.
Yes,
Yes, you do.
yes.
Okay, because I want to attribute this to something.
Okay.
We have festivals, we have people doing a whole lot, you know, in terms of starting something, continuing with something. For instance, ticket prices come out for shows all the time. There'll be no complaints or something. Sponsorship breakdowns come out. I remember you caught fire once when you said, if you're trying to be a sponsor for Hipnotik, I'm gonna need 1 million. And that was construed as, look at this boy. So the way people perceive you, every move you make is just, then there was the AKA thing, you know, the whole Twitter spat. So how much of this heat can you attribute to the feeling that
Sakile's arrogant.
Sakile, yeah, nah.
80% of it.
Okay.
It's also my fault for not always giving context and just acting out. And when I make a decision, it always comes across as harsh, or you didn't give him a chance, or did you even consider this? And it's always, yes, I did consider all these other things. I think the arrogance, as people call it, was my way of protecting my dreams and myself from the world. People will crush you with their opinions. People will crush you with their words, with their feelings, with their vibes. And I was like, how do I cut through all this noise and stand out as a young entrepreneur? I need to build walls around me, you know. I need to keep my chin up even when things are tough. I need to talk loud when I talk. I need to be confident. And unfortunately, because of the type of environment we're in, we're a very conservative culture. When you speak to someone, you know, you bow your head, you don't look them in the eye. And then I went to America, where it's the exact opposite, where to speak to someone, you look them in the eye and you speak loud, you know. So there was a culture clash while I was growing this business. Literally the year Hipnotik started, I went to America. And then so while I was learning to be confident, Western standards, this side is like, disrespect, arrogant. So I'm very aware of those cultural norms that I went against. I'd walk into a meeting in a boardroom with, board members, CEOs. I'm not even wearing a suit. I'm wearing Air Force Ones and a dope white tee, and I'm like, I'm not gonna accept that offer. I'm like, so there's always that. This guy is just going against everything we believe young people should be. Is it acceptable? Is it not? Until this day, I'd say the older people don't know how to treat us. Because we've rejected offers. Someone offered us $500,000 once upon a time. We were like, what's that? It's like, these kids are arrogant. No, it's business. It's a partnership. There's value in what we do. There's value in what you do. We see the value in partnering with you. You see the value in partnering with us. It's not a donation. We came from that angle all the time. While there are other people struggling to raise 5,000, 10,000 for their shows, these kids are rejecting 100,000. Arrogance. So I can see where they come from. We just won't compromise till this day. Because you know what? When you go to other countries and you have these conversations, you get even more offers. And you're like, so what's going on with our environment? Are we making mediocrity a norm? Are we saying that everyone should come down to this standard, which now tells you why there are only 2 big festivals in this country, and one of them is leaving?
Now, I want to talk about this. At no point, because you started this, you were still here?
Yeah.
You went to school in America?
Yeah.
And you came back?
Yeah.
After school?
Yeah.
And all these things are happening. You're being met with this negativity or this, hey, look, I've got 500,000. Take it. And you're like, oh, you won't have it.
Our fans can actually raise that just from ticket sales alone.
Now, at no point, because I understand that from your perspective, it's you're coming from outside and you're seeing this work that side. You're like, no, but guys, this is what industry is like. Is there a point in time where you felt maybe you should bend?
There's a time I got sued like a ridiculous amount. And everyone was literally looking at me. See, the thing is, everyone's livelihood is depending on these management decisions. You have people's salaries, people have kids, people have homes, they have bread to buy. And at some point, everyone looks at you like, SK, just take the money. Just take the money. It's going to sort out this issue. We'll be fine. Your ego's going to be hurt. But we'll pay off these bills. I've felt that in meetings. I've seen it in their eyes like, bro, please just take it. So at some point I did consider bending, and then traveling always helped me get back to my senses. If given the opportunity, travel as much as you can, so you actually see that how insignificant our system is or how we live is. Just exposing yourself to other cultures, other languages, other people opens up your mind so much as to, then why do we do this way at home? So you come back and question everything, and you start seeing gaps, So when those moments would happen where I feel like bending and just conforming to Swazi standards, I'll call them that, I'd travel and I'd come back like, guys, we're not going to do this. We're not going to become just another company. We're not going to become just other young people that once did something and it was nice. Nakumula, 2016, Sana Hipnotik. I was like, no way. We need to push through this pain. If you need to leave, more than welcome. If you want to stay, let's push through this together. Some people left.
So you don't regret at any point not bending?
Never.
No. Okay.
Never.
Okay.
Because during those moments, there were people watching us. They wanted to see if we were going to bend. There's some deals we're about to announce that people won't believe, like you won't even believe. Even I was in the meeting like, oh, I can't even believe this. Because those people watching us through those moments, like, do these kids have what it takes to be winners? We literally with someone who went to buy a Lamborghini and a Bentley while they were having a meeting with us. They bought a Bentley.
And a Lamborghini.
And a Lambo. Sorry, I almost forgot the Lambo. But while they were saying, you guys have what it takes to reach that level of human excellence because you've persevered through these moments and you didn't throw your principles away even when it got hard. And we're like, someone was watching. Someone was watching. And now we're getting rewarded for that in ways I can't even explain. You know what I'm saying? In such, for example, in South Africa the last week, we didn't even pay a rand for a hotel because someone that owns these properties, let us stay in their place. Because for them, it's an honor that such hardworking young people will stay in their place. So we're getting rewards in ways we can't even explain, and we're going into meetings with people we never thought we'd meet. I'm not even talking about celebrities. I'm talking about people that actually own the industry. You understand? And the gatekeepers of the industry. They cut the checks. Now we're about to be part of the crew also that cuts the checks. You know what I'm saying? So no regrets, no bending over from us, even moving forward. Yeah.
All right then, we'll be right back. We're still out here on the Beatdown.
Cause I give it all to you. I give it all to you. My heart is all I can give. I said I give it all to you. I give it all to you. My heart is all I can give. Said I give it all to you. I give it all to you. Oh, my heart is all I can give. I give it.
Yeah, man, the Beatdown. We're still out here with your boy El Fizzle. Shout out to L.O. and SK.
What's up?
Because that's how they say it, right?
Yeah.
L.O.
You know, it's a Eswatini vibe.
I want to know, how do the folks feel about this journey that you guys have been on?
Oh, you know, coming from a traditional country like Swaziland, the Kingdom of Eswatini, even the name is just so traditional, you know. It's tough for them to imagine anything other than getting an office job, 9 to 5, you know, getting a
Lawyer,
boss,
doctor.
doctor. You know, it's very tough because they don't see that here. You know, our environment is very limited to the possibilities we can explore. So they don't see that. So when you come with something from, you know, maybe they think it's from America or whatever, it's not easy to accept, and they just automatically assume you're never going to be anything. So, you know, they try to protect you, but, you know, you just have to persevere through it. But I don't think you should give up, even though your parents don't agree. Show them.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, you don't just tell them, show them. They will only start believing when you show them, when you work hard. That's what, you know, parents believe in, you working hard for your future, for, you know, that's what you have to do. And for me, we even came to a compromise. I studied recording arts, which is audio engineering and, you know, audio technologies and networking. So that was the compromise we came to. It was fine, go to school, but I'll study what I love, you know, in order to develop my skills further and actually be a professional in the industry. So we have to, there is a compromise that you have to meet with them, you know, it can't always be your way.
Because I think most parents just want to be able to say, hey, look, I tried my best, I sent him to school.
Yeah.
It's all on him now.
Yeah. Yeah, I know, it's real. As soon as, I got cut off as soon as I landed. I remember in South Africa, I landed, not before I even came to Swaziland. I got cut off immediately. I got sat down.
You're on your own.
Yeah, in some lobby, in some hotel. There's like, Sofunzi.
Time to house.
Yeah, I'm done. You good? Shook my hand. All right, he bounced. He left me there. You know, so I've had, you know, yeah, and it's not a tough lesson. It's just, you know, they just taught me how to stand on my own. You know, that's very important. You have to be pushed, you know, because you're not going to do it if you're always comfortable. You know, you have to get rid of the comfortability of your home, everything, your support structure, and just do it.
Yeah.
That's it, Bungambu.
Stay in school. Something I struggled with from high school. Started making money at a young age. Had this brand that was catching on with people. I was getting popular within the perimeters of the school, and I was like, you know, I'm cool enough to sell a brand and make so much money. I don't need school. And my dad sat me down specifically to say, if you really want to pursue business, you'll need more knowledge. At the time, I was a C student even. I wasn't paying attention in class. By the time I did IB, the challenge was even bigger now because we were recording music and people were buying into this culture. And we started doing shows like Headcount. So we're making even more money. I'm like, I don't need the French class, to be honest. You know?
Yeah, French,
College was the worst. I think college was...
money, Papa.
Yeah, money. Yeah, college was worse because now everyone there is making decisions about who they want to be. And I already knew who I was. I went to college and I was already a businessman, and everyone was like, I don't know if I want to do psychology or like if I want to do like a science, and I was like, business. And they used to say, Sakila, why have you made up your mind? You know, feel free to change. And I'm like, I know what I want to be, and I hated being in an environment like that where it was okay not to know what you want to be, you know, and I wanted to be out. And you know, it was very close. I almost never finished. So me posting about me getting a degree was actually very monumental. It was basically me saying I'm free, I will do everything it takes, and that was only last year. So this year was the first time I did any work without having school disturb me, you know.
Listen to you.
Yeah.
Okay, guys, before we run out of time on the show, I want us to get to the nitty-gritties. It's what I introduced, but we haven't really spoken about it. What's happening? Today is the last interview. We've deemed this the last interview at the Swazi Jive headquarters. Yeah. What is happening? Why are you leaving here?
Okay, I didn't really explicitly say this in my post. Hipnotik is leaving the country. We have a few offers in our neighboring countries that we're still considering. Swazi Jive as an office, we're going to run the office from that country, whichever country we're operating our festival properties in, because that's what the offices are mostly used for. Supply management, all the meetings, will go to that country. What will remain in this country are our studios. So we're launching Lalela Music. Some of you know about it. It's a music streaming service and online radio service. It will have its own studio in the country. We're also going to have a music studio for our artists that are Swati in the country. Otherwise, Swazi Jive at the moment will continue doing memorabilia like t-shirts and stuff to remember the years, but it doesn't look like we're going to be doing anything more than that in Swaziland.
So this was the last Hipnotik in the country?
Yes.
Damn. How you guys feel about that, Lo?
I almost cried.
It's heartbreaking a little bit, but it's, you know, change is always like that, you know. It doesn't always feel good, but sometimes it is good for you. You know, so that's how I see this. Yeah.
In the interview last year,
yeah,
you spoke about how, and I know at the time you were speaking from a point of growth, you know, that Hipnotik, or you're thinking of branching out of the country, and now you're doing this.
I'm actually doing it.
But is it in the same? It's not in the same.
It's definitely a different energy behind it. But God always puts me in a position where I get really uncomfortable with what I have and where I am to grow me. So I don't ever see it as a negative thing. I feel like all those people were sent to force me to grow. They thought they were burying us and killing us, like, yeah, you can't have it here. And then I was forced to reach out to people in other places where they were like, you're more than welcome. We have all the money. We'll pay you 10 times what they offered. I'm like, oh. Without that push, without that negativity, without that hate, that's what people think they're doing, I would have never looked beyond the borders. So I'd like to say thank you for making us superstars.
Why does your face say, look at me now? Look at me now.
Because when we announce these deals, it's going to be such a big lesson for those kids, man, that follow us. There were so many kids that were heartbroken. I was trying to post as many messages on my Instagram, on my Twitter as possible, because people were genuinely hurt. People were crying. People came here to say, please don't. And the lesson in that is that the pain is not, it's not supposed to kill anything. Let's grow together. It just means now maybe taking a shuttle to get to Hipnotik. But we believe in that brand that much, that it can shift without losing that loyal support.
Okay. Hey, we'll be right back to wrap up the interview and hear any other things that they can, you know, give a sneak peek into what to look forward to from the Swazi Jive camp. We'll be right back.
Benbajalile yini Senbatekele Abasebahle nje qha. You know where I be, there are kings and queens in these streets. The mummies, it's like they come from my dreams. Hi Gabi, you might be my wifey. Umnana getu ya jiga, umnana getu muhle, umnana getu ya shimbiliga, umnana getu ya nyatel ya nyoba, nyoba, nyoba. Umnana getu ya jiga, umnana getu ya jiga. Jiga. You know where I be, there are kings and queens in these streets. The mummies, it's like they come from my dreams. Hi Gabi, you might be my wifey.
Yeah, man. It's probably one of my favorite episodes, and it's come to an end. It's come to an end just like the Hipnotik Festival in Eswatini. It's still such a profound statement to hear, especially after the run that it's had. I'm here with Lo and SK. Guys seem very upbeat about the future. Obviously, a bit emotional about where we're at now and how things, where things have ultimately come to. But the future looks bright.
Yeah.
The future looks good. Well, what are some of the things that you guys want to be remembered for, Lo?
Oh, we're killing the game. I mean, you know, I've even heard some people when comparing, just eavesdropping, you know, I probably shouldn't have been doing that, but I heard some people comparing different musicians and artists in Swaziland, and then they didn't mention us. And then one of the guys like, but what about them? Like, no, but those guys are...
It's a different league.
Yeah, it's a
NBA.
different, yeah, it's a different league. I was like, oh, okay. I guess some people do recognize the impact and, you know, how much we push. You know, so we're gonna come out on top. yeah. So at least we're leaving at the peak.
Yeah.
So I don't mind that.
Some fun memories, Sakile?
Lots of fun memories. I'd rather talk about what I'd like us to be remembered for, and that's love. Like, we showed so much love to people even when they didn't support us. We showed love to music in this country even when the industry didn't exist. You know, we showed so much love to each other when we had no money, and all these things were just dreams. And that's one thing I'd encourage maybe the young person that's watching to always remember, that that's the only reason we're still here today. You know, we showed so much love. God is love, and I see the more I grow, the more I see that in everything that we do, the way we supported each other emotionally, financially. When someone has something in the team, they'll share. If I have something, I'll share. That's the reason Swazi Jive is what it is today. Understanding each other, loving each other. And I really wish that's what was always on the forefront. I think the controversial stories, the drama, who left who, what did AKA say, do you see Sakile's tweets? They'll always remember that and miss the point that I started a business at 16 and shook the country within 9 years. Literally, I would walk into the ministry and be like, I need to see him, where's the minister? He's late, you know what I'm saying? Which I don't think has ever been done before. I was in cabinet meetings speaking on behalf of the youth before I launched the National Youth Summit. I don't think that's ever been done before. That's purely because of the love young people showed us and the love we showed them. It's such a genuine connection that we have so much confidence in that we could take this brand anywhere in the world. Swazi Jive music is playing in Michigan. There are people playing our music in Chicago. There are people that are hoping that Hipnotik comes to Vegas. that's crazy for me, that there are people in Las Vegas where there's a party Monday to Sunday that are saying, bro, if you could just bring Hipnotik here, it would be wild. Like, why you need Hipnotik? You got 50 Cent and Mariah Carey and, you know, Justin Bieber down the road. They're like, nah, we need what you guys do. That's all because of the love people from Swaziland have shown us, all the support. I'll never forget this one moment. I think that should be my ending statement. When I walked into a shop to check on our sales, and a kid was paying for their VIP ticket with 5 Rand coins. They were saving from the previous year, not eating their break time money so that they could come to the next Hipnotik. You know, that was such a moment for me that I've created something that this person has invested so much love in that they're willing to sacrifice their food. I don't think I've ever sacrificed food for anything. So that's why it was so special. But yeah, man, it's been a lot of love. It's definitely not the end. No one's dying.
No.
Swazi Jive will continue, and there are going to be so many great things that we do in other aspects that the industry needs. I think the music streaming and radio and the charts, an official charting system, is probably the most important thing to organize the industry. But if people want to see Hipnotik continue, it has to leave. Yeah.
Speaking of Hipnotik leaving, Swazi Jive leaving the headquarters, what's happening with Sky Lounge?
Sky Lounge, we actually had a meeting with Swazi Plaza Properties. It will continue. Okay. We're about to sign a very lucrative deal with Swazi Plaza. They were very happy with the targeted market and what it's bringing to the capital. Let's not forget that Mbabane is our capital city, but there's hardly anything going on except for one venue, you know. So we have corporates actually calling us to say they have clients from France, can they go to Sky Lounge? So there's a huge demand for it. It will continue. Whether we will be on the ground running, it's something we're still deciding. But I think people have seen that our work will remain consistent, even if Sakila's face is not there, you know. That's what the business is growing into. Franchise money. Everything being franchised. Yeah.
Fellas, thanks for coming through, or actually thanks for having us here. Things to look out for is that book and a project from Load the Musician.
Yeah, look out for it. Yeah, I got some nice stuff coming.
And you know it's good when he's blowing like,
You know, we were just listening to it the other day. We're like, yeah, okay. And look out for Lalela Music. If anyone wants to be involved with Lalela, whether being a radio presenter, whatever, hit us up. You know, we want to employ as many people from Eswatini in this industry as possible. Okay. Yeah. So hit us up. Send us whatever you think you can send us.
Where do they send it?
Anyway.
Swazi Jive
at Gmail. Which other?
Our website will have a link. But swazijive@gmail.com.
Okay.
swazijive@gmail.com.
When's the book coming out?
The Making of a Billionaire, early 2019.
Okay.
That's where all these stories will come together. I've actually been inspired by this interview to put out the pre-order link today. So as soon as this camera shuts, I'm going on my Facebook and I'm putting out a link so people can start buying. There's so much demand for a young black man's story. I'm even under pressure. I'm like, what if it's not as interesting as I thought it would be? You know. But early 2019, we'll have hard copies of the book. We're still negotiating with publishers right now. We're deciding if we'll self-publish it or use a publishing agent so we get proper distribution. I'm learning about writing. This is my first book. Apparently I'm good at writing, so let's see what the numbers say. Yeah, but The Making of a Billionaire, I'm glad people finally get it. We're not talking about money, we're talking about mindsets, perseverance, attitudes towards your work, professionalism.
One of the things you said that shout out to people when you said I'm a billionaire.
Yeah.
So,
but I am though.
Fellas, thank you so much for your time. I'm personally excited for the next step of your journey.
Thank you.
And I hope I'll be getting constant constant updates on Scoop to say
wherever we are, the beatdown is welcome. We'll fly the whole team to Switzerland or something. 5-minute interview.
You said it on camera, so I can sue you now. This is what's called a gentleman's agreement.
I got you.
It holds up the court. Fellas, all the best for the future. Thank you so much for your time. Ladies and gentlemen, it is Low, it is SK, it's your boy Alfizzle. Remember on Facebook, it's The Beat Down on Facebook, and on Twitter, it's at The Beat Down TV. If you're looking for me, it's at IMLFO on Instagram, at IMLFO on Twitter. and Elfo on Facebook. Thank you so much for tuning in. We'll be back next week, same time, same place. Remember, Jesus is King. God loves you. I love you. Peace.
You know, where I be, there are kings and queens.